In a home where the roof leaked stories and the floor kept secrets, 5 women lived together, one mother, 3 daughters, and a grandmother whose wisdom was deeper than the wrinkles on her face. Poverty was no stranger in that house. Hunger often sat at the table, but so did prayer. Mama Bate, the mother, would stir a pot of little food and whisper to her children, "We may not have much, my girls, but we have each other, and we have God. Eat the little we have, and tomorrow we will try again." Hope, the second-born, was different. By the flicker of a candle, she bent over her school books long after her sisters had laid their heads to rest. The candle burned short, but her questions burned long. And her grandmother, Grandma Namsa, would hum hymns in the corner, her fatting eyes filled with wisdom. She would call Hope close and say, "Child, he who kneels before God can stand before kings." Hope believed her, and so she knelt often. At school, she was a wonder. Test after test, exam after exam, position one. Always, classmates would crowd around her, notebooks in hand. "Hope, help us, please," they would beg. And with patience, she would explain. "Balance is the rule of life and algebra. What you add here, you subtract there. Don't be afraid, you can do this." Brilliance was her habit, not her accident. But Hope's dream reached beyond the chalkboard. One day, sitting in a crowded clinic waiting room with her mother, her eyes found a poster of doctors in white coats. Her heart whispered, "One day, that will be me. I will listen to the heartbeat of this country and learn its medicine." Her mother laid a hand on hers and said, "Let the dream be big and the knees be strong." At night, storms came in other forms. As Grandma's health failed and blindness swallowed her sight, patience slipped from her grasp. Sometimes she would cry out in the dark, "Where are you? Why has the light left me? Is this how the world ends, quiet and dark?" The children would tremble, and Mama Bate, weary but loving, would hush her. "Hush now, Mama, the children must sleep." But sleep would not come. So Hope would kneel by the bedside and pray softly, "God, give us peace for tonight and courage for tomorrow." Years passed. Hope grew into a young woman, sharp-minded and strong-hearted. The students at her high school saw her light and chose her as their president. "Hope, hope for president," they chanted in the quad. But not everyone celebrated. The principal, Mr. Brown, folded his arms and muttered, "A girl president? Leadership is heavy, best carried by boys." Still, Hope stood before her classmates and said, "Leadership is service. If we serve each other, we will not fail." But service came with resistance. When she approached the principal about broken taps, lights that didn't work, and the needs of the girls, he cut her off. "Books first, politics later, leave strategy to the men." Hope did not raise her voice. She simply answered, steady as a river carving stone, "With respect, sir, broken taps steal study time. Fixing them is a lesson in dignity." Every no she faced became a chisel. Each rejection shaped her voice for battles yet to come. At home, the grandmother's wisdom still flowed even through frailty. One night, as Hope massaged her hands by candlelight, Grandma whispered, "Child, forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing not to carry the stone. You will need free hands for your books." Hope's eyes filled with tears. "I'll try, Grandma." Through fire after fire, studying late, tutoring peers, mediating disputes, praying with her mother, Hope grew stronger. Her excellence was not an accident. It was her discipline, her root in faith. Then came results day. The school hall buzzed with whispers, eyes fixed on the results board. A boy shouted, "Top learner again, Hope." The room rose like a wave, applause and cheers filling the air. Soon after, a university official stepped forward with envelopes in hand. He looked at her and said, "Miss Hope, prestigious universities have taken notice. Full scholarships, plural. Your future waits with open doors." Hope looked into the crowd, searching for the faces that had carried her this far. She found them. Her mother, tears streaming, whispered, "God of humble kitchens and borrowed uniforms, thank you." And Grandma, blind but smiling, lifted her face and said, "Stand up straight, child. I told you, knees to God and you'll stand before kings." That night, Hope packed a small suitcase. Her sisters watched. Will you forget us when you become Dr. Hope? Amanda asked. Hope laughed through her tears. Never. I will carry you like breath, quiet but always there. Her mother embraced her. Go, the world is wide, but remember, widen it for others. And so Hope departed. Some departures, you see, are really arrivals in disguise. Later, she returned to the principal's office with a letter in hand. She placed it gently on his desk. Sir, thank you for every gate you closed. You taught me to find keys, and when none existed, to build doors. The taps are fixed now. The students did it together. The principal shifted uneasily. Perhaps I misjudged. Good luck, Hope. She smiled. Not luck, sir, work and grace. And now I tell you, Hope's story is not just hers. It belongs to every child who studies by candlelight, to every mother who prays between night shifts, to every grandmother whose eyes have closed to the world, but not to wisdom. Hope stood tall and declared, Your struggle is not your name, your hunger is not your fate. The world may weigh you, but it cannot measure you. I will become a doctor, not to be important, but to make importance ordinary. And I will return, because a ladder unused is a lie. And so the seed planted in a storm took root. The rain that threatened to drown it taught it to drink. The wind that bent it taught it to bow and to rise. And so the seed planted in a storm took root. The rain that threatened to drown it taught it to drink. The wind that bent it taught it to bow and to rise.